Ladies and gentlemen, life in 2021 is kind of crazy. How crazy? Well, now that this storm is moving out over the Atlantic, we probably won't have any notable weather asterisk for about a week. That's right, except for some baseball disrupting snow that is moving out of the Northeast as we speak. This is the precipitation map over the next 48 hours, and there's not much. But a big freeze asterisk is coming to the east as heat is coming to the west. But I have more important personal news. Wait, what was it talking about? Earthquakes? No, that's down on the list. Oh, yeah, so I'm now registered to get my first COVID vaccination shot, the Moderna, on Saturday. So to me, that's good news. As your Planetary Defense Commander, I recommend you get it. But as an American, I totally respect your right if you don't want to. So now the only thing I really got to worry about in April is hitting my fundraiser goal for THORnews, which is something I do every single month to keep THORnews up and running. And so if you would like to contribute, I got a snail mail, a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron, and a whole lot of love for everybody. I love my job. Only $1,717 to raise with 4.5 days left to go. I'm going to need a miracle, but it always works out for me, or it seems to. I don't want to get too cocky, though. But hey, the next big storm we do have on the books is around the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. You're looking at a large, crazy, wild storm and severe weather components. And there's some crazy crap happening with the highs and low pressure systems out by the Atlantic. And so we will continue to track and monitor this thing as it gets closer. But yeah, we have reason to believe that these areas may undergo some dangerous tornadic activity. So far, the big stories in 2021 seems to have been auroras and volcanoes, with, of course, earthquakes in there. And here's a picture from Iceland's Geisladiolfur volcano. It's turning into a must-see destination for aurora photographers. So yeah, you've been getting volcano action and aurora action. And I have more bad news for the 99% of the space and earth weather truth community who's been trying to sell the public some QAnon science that we were going into a grand solar minimum, because it is now the 8th month in a row that the sunspot values and the solar flux values are greatly exceeding even the NASA and NOAA projections. So this is what it was projected to do, and this is what it has been done. So solar activity has been a lot higher than anyone expected, and will probably continue to do so, which means the grand solar minimum that they've been selling everybody for 5 years is never going to happen. And I find it's best when it comes to like the sun or overall weather not to draw any conclusions and keep asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Keep making observations, if you will. Okay, great. So yeah, the West is going to get hotter than normal. Maida, the high temps so far just through 2 p.m. may qualify as an April Fool's joke on all of us. Too warm, too soon in California. Then swing over to the other side of the USA, lower 48, and here come the big cool down. It could get even freezy into Atlanta. And your most Debony, going to get some Floridians who are going to complain about how cold it is. So get your wood. Mike's weather page, tropical update. You can feel it in the air. Cold wind is blowing in. Friday night temperatures here in Florida. Are you getting wood? And so get your mittens, get your hats, protect your iguanas, because it's going to get into the 30s, 40s, and 50s down into the shaft. And the West is going to remain too dang hot. So, Earth is like a McDLT snow globe. All these big stories of fire and ice as Mother Nature continues to jack it out of the park. Yeah, it was snowing today in Detroit while they were trying to play baseball. And I can almost freaking guarantee you that all the gas giants being on the same side of the sun is going to increase the weird weather, the volcanoes, and the earthquakes. Speaking of earthquakes, earthquake was trending on Twitter today. And as 8 years doing THORnews, or 7 years Planetary Defense Commander, almost, I've never seen an earthquake trend on Twitter that I can remember, and so I couldn't actually figure out which earthquake they were talking about. We had 6.5 and a 6 down near New Zealand. You had a whole lot of earthquakes in the USA, though none larger than a 4, and you got a 4 in New Mexico, and then you got one in Louisiana. That is pretty, but like I said, with the New Madrid earthquake that happened up here back in the day, that happened with all the gas giants on the same side, and so East Coast earthquakes are possible. Big ones too. Mother Nature can surprise you, absolutely, bro. Yeah, it is totally a fire and ice situation. So everybody be ready, and I highly recommend teamwork, by the way. Everybody wins when we all work together for good common interest goals. And I don't mean to be continually rude to the dipshits who told everybody that the coronavirus is a hoax or no worse than the flu, which includes 99% of the truth community, but there is no reason for Brazil to be faking 4,000 deaths a day when their population is 2/3 that of the United States. They're having major problems. Mexico's having major problems. It's a major problem. What did somebody release that? That we don't know, but I can tell you that it's real. Anyway, I did call it correctly from January 30th, 2020 on as your Planetary Defense Commander. It's like for a while there, our economy was based on people giving out misinformation and gaslighting people. Yeah, things are definitely weird. And if you're going to have a realistic infrastructure build, you're really going to have to do it like globally, not just patchworks, 215 nations. But that's a whole different subject. Anywho, I was worried we might see an increase up here in earthquakes, but it has calmed down. We'll have to go back and try and figure out what may or may not have caused that big March earthquake. We can do that later, right? Yeah, big coronal hole will be hitting Earth in the face with solar wind in about 3 days. We are in solar minimum conditions right now, but we have another sunspot right there that will probably be on this disk in the next 24 hours. Sometimes earthquakes can be predictors for future volcanoes. Strange sounds letting us know the Tal volcano prepares for its next big blast after 212 earthquakes hit and released large quantities of gas in the Philippines. Oh, man. Yeah, guys, I'll be here tracking and stacking this big future storm coming up in about 8 days. Anthony M. Next week continues to be of interest for potentially multiple chances for severe weather. We start with parts of the plains, Midwest, but that could shift south later in the week. Details are still uncertain, but the ingredients are there for severe weather, and so we will see how that trends. Asteroid or potato? I would guess potato, but honestly, I would butter them both. All right, I predicted that March would be one of the best months we've had, and it was for me. I hope it was for you too. And I predicted April would be even better. And for that to be true, I would need to hit my fundraiser goal. So if you'd like to donate for any of the work I've done over the last year, over the last 7 or 8 years, I would really, really, really appreciate it. You can send a snail mail letter in. I love to get letters. I got a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron, and only $1,717 left to go with 4.5 days left. Thank you very, 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 very much to Ellie and Thomas and everybody out there in Asteroid Fight Club who's ever contributed, donated, sent prayers, sent good thoughts, watched anything. I appreciate everybody. And you know what? I should be banging out the one-taker videos, but I got to tell you, they did that bill that Trump signed for the first COVID relief thing that says they have to have all the UFO information out in 180 days. So sometime in June, they're supposed to put out, disclose all the UFO stuff. So I've been working on this super badass. It's going to be multiple videos, like I do, but I've been spending a lot of time on this. And so hopefully it'll be super great. It will be super great. And then I'll have them up. And so I'll be putting out a lot of UFO videos in the next 2 months. And I promise they will be pretty dang awesome. It's kind of like, my style. I'm going to get back on track. Hey, this is Leslie Nielsen. Remember the guy from Top Gun, or not Top Gun, but Naked Gun? He's in this movie called Appointment on Mars. Anyway, there's tons of fascinating shit, bro. Anyway, I love you guys. You guys are super duper and awesome. Oh, yeah, and my actual 7th year as Planetary Defense Commander is April 23rd, and so I need to hit my fundraiser goal to celebrate that fully, if possible. But I appreciate everyone. It always seems to work out, and I do pour my heart and soul in this, but I did take a week vacation for the first time in like 3.5 years. We'll see what happens. Anyway, love you guys. Stay cool. Peace out.